Donald Trump didn't have to say a word. Honestly, this meme did it for him. 3 presidents. Only one of them was real. One of them was a machine. And somehow that machine allegedly signed over 8,000 pardons. Not Biden, not his pen, and Autopen. And now it's all starting to unravel, including the panic from the very people who benefited from this. Well, you got some people out there scared. Now, I want y'all to see this. It's got so ridiculous someone dropped this sketch. Joking that we finally caught the real president. Here he goes right here, y'all. Let me go and scroll up so y'all get the full picture. I said pitch. What was that? Yeah. Turns out it wasn't Joe. It was a signature robot more active than a commander-in-chief. Funny, right? Until you realize that this may be how key figures like Adam Schiff and Liz Cheney were quietly protected. I'm trying to tell y'all now. I want y'all to see this. Peter Doocy is about to hold a pardon forum at this press briefing with Caroline Levitt. Let's peep.
Looks different. It looks authentic. In fact, if you look at the last name, it almost looks like the president was having a hard time spelling his last name there. Is this White House of the opinion that the only pardon that would count is one that the president signed himself?
It's very interesting. Very interesting props. If you want to bring them to my office later so I can take a closer look, I would like to do that. The president is making a good point when he discusses the usage of the Autopen. Who was running the country for the past 4 years? Perhaps those documents were signed with the Autopen, something that I believe the Department of Justice is looking into. As you saw, Ed Martin made an announcement at the Department of Justice this morning to launch an investigation because the American people deserve answers.
Is there any concern that this president, who won the election on a promise to fix the economy and close the border, that focusing and scrutinizing these Biden pardons is looking into the past instead of looking forward?
I think in comparison to the amount of time this president has spent on securing the border, on fixing our economy, I just read out for you an entire list of economic accomplishments. Look at the border numbers. Look at the time and effort he's divulged into solving the global conflicts abroad. It pales in comparison, but it still, nevertheless, is a very important issue. And it was a huge issue that sent the president back to this White House. The Americans saw with their own eyes a mentally incompetent president, and they want answers for that, and the president believes they should have them.
And something that just crossed, Caroline, how mad do you think President Trump is going to be when he finds out that Elon Musk said, "I'm sorry, but I just can't stand it anymore. This massive, outrageous, pork-filled congressional spending bill is a disgusting abomination. Shame on those who voted for it. You know you did wrong. You know it."
All right, that's a topic for another story, but I'll let her finish.
Look, the president already knows where Elon Musk stood on this bill. It doesn't change the president's opinion. This is one big, beautiful bill, and he's sticking to it.
Yeah, thank you. The national.
But Peter Doocy, I always mess up his name, y'all. I always crucified me for it, too. He wasn't laughing. He wasn't. He found only one pardon with Biden's actual signature, and that was his son, Hunter. Coincidence? That's it. Every other pardon, including for Liz Cheney, Adam Schiff, and members of the January 6th committee, was signed by a machine. Let that sink in. Not a veteran, not a whistleblower, not even a political prisoner. Only his son. Now, I want y'all to see this. Then came the real shocker. Congressman Tim Burchett confirmed Biden staffers were allegedly taking bribes in exchange for Autopen pardons. Yeah, you heard that right. Money changing hands for pardons signed by a machine. Bribery, treason, Now, I don't want to just have y'all sitting here in gloom, but I want y'all to read what Miller Joy posted here. The music is gonna stop pretty soon, but Tim Burchett confirms that Biden staffers were taking payoffs in exchange for Autopen pardons. And again, in other words, bribes. She also says, now arrest them. Arrest every single one of them for the crimes. She listed out some codes: destruction, alteration, or falsification of records, tampering with a witness, obstruction of justice, and the two I brought up, bribery, treason. Now, this cover-up just got exposed. I mean, I want y'all to see this exposure where Biden was president, but he still didn't sign.
What's not normal is having the president of the United States in the White House, and yet the Autopen was being used. And so here's what we know now. The Oversight Project says that the Autopen was being used all the time. 66% of the pardons that were signed were done while Biden was in D.C. 100% of the commutations that were signed were done with Autopen while Biden was in D.C.
This is not making any of the claims of him being a clone any better.
2/3 of all the Autopen pardons. That includes members of the January 6th committee, President Biden's family members, Dr. Anthony Fauci, General Mark Milley, Iranian spies. That all occurred while President Biden was located physically at the White House, and yet they were using a robot to conduct the signatures. Now, you tell me what that would suggest to you if you're an investigator looking into all of this. For his own family? He can't take time to sign that document for his own family? Just have the robot do it? No, this is a guy who wasn't even involved in the process, which means we had a full-blown constitutional crisis on our hands because the only guy who's allowed to do that is the president of the United States.
The Oversight Project confirmed that over 66% of the pardons and 100% of the commutations, Biden was in D.C., but he still didn't sign, not even for his own family, according to him. But we just seen in the last clip where he only did it for his family, stamped it with an Autopen for the rest. So the real question is, was Biden ever involved? Or was this truly an automated presidency used to shield their allies? Something to think about, man. We need some accountability. I tell y'all what. We need some accountability. Now, Trump is calling for that accountability as well. Y'all remember when he said this.
Because the Democrats have really hurt our country. And we are going to go into very much so. Remember what I said, the Autopen. This government was illegally run for 4 years. Thank you very much, everybody.
Mr. President, should the DOJ be charging a member of Congress?
And that's why we are demanding Pam Bondi, come on. You know, if we know this to be true, we should declare those pardons to be null and void, correct? And that's not even him trolling anymore. He's naming names. Schiff, Cheney, Falsey. And he's calling it what it is. Treason. It's treason. Masked by some sort of mechanical signature. Now I want y'all to see Jesse Waters break this down.
The Biden White House is under investigation, and Trump's got a new nickname for the big guy. He's now called the Autopen. Bondi and her team are investigating whether Biden was competent and whether others were taking advantage of him. Did the Autopen know what it was signing? The Autopen signed 8,000 pardons. But did Joe know? Was the pen going behind Joe's back and letting Hunter sign with it? Did Dr. Jill use the pen? Did donors? We're not sure. But we're finally going to get answers.
When you look at these last-minute Biden pardons, the big ones, Biden siblings, Fauci, January 6th committee.
That's right.
Most of the big ones have the same very neat signature. We would expect that probably to be the Autopen. Is this White House of the opinion that the only pardon that would count is one that the president signed himself?
The president is making a good point when he discusses the usage of the Autopen. Who was running the country for the past 4 years? Perhaps those documents were signed with the Autopen. As you saw, Ed Martin made an announcement at the Department of Justice this morning to launch an investigation because the American people deserve answers.
Donald Trump had his hand an inch from the Bible, about to be sworn in a second time. And the Autopen was on a pardon bender. The Heritage Foundation did their own investigation. Quote, "We gathered every document we could find with Biden's signature over the course of his presidency. All used the same Autopen signature, except for the announcement that the former president was dropping out of the race last year." Then they did a side-by-side. These are the signatures from Biden's final day. Pardons for the family, the J6 committee, Fauci, Milley, all neatly signed, identical. This 82-year-old's penmanship never wavered, not even a smidge. But this goes back decades. The Autopen was first used regularly by President Truman. He used it for simple stuff like thank you notes, nothing serious. Obama changed that. Barry had a portable Autopen that he used in Europe to sign major legislation. First time a machine ever signed an actual bill. The pen was the best kept secret in the Oval. It lives in the White House, typically in the Office of Presidential Records. How does it work? Simple. The president gives the thumbs up, the doc gets stacked, Autopen goes to work, and then a final verification. W's Justice Department codified it. They said, yeah, Autopen counts, but one catch. Quote, "We emphasize that we are not suggesting the president may delegate the decision to approve and sign a bill. Only that, having made this decision, he may direct a subordinate to affix the president's signature on the bill." The big question, did Biden direct someone to sign his name or not? Or did aides have free reign?
Trump's got a new nickname for the big guy. Autopen. It's my favorite drink. But I love hearing Jesse Water satirical standpoint, rather, is what I was trying to say. But it was really running the White House, y'all. Joe, Jill, Jack Biden. Well, all of them are Biden, huh? Or a machine, to protect people like Schiff and Cheney from consequences. 8,000 pardons? One real signature, though. And none of this is conspiracy anymore either. I don't want to hear none of that talk. It's a cover-up. I was about to say hiding in plain sight, but hiding in plain ink. So what's worse, y'all? That Biden used the Autopen or that they all knew and stayed silent? Let me know in the comments. Be safe. Go check on somebody today. You could be saving their life. Peace.